Are you totally different when it comes to sex and copulation? Have you judged yourself out of receiving pleasure? Have you judged yourself into receiving pleasure in certain ways and excluded other ways? Would you like to know more about what else is possible with bodies? Would you like to create confidence in the bedroom and beyond? How has your sex life or lack of it affected other areas of your life? Everyone has the potency to be a sexual superhero. Get ready to listen, sense, and play with the sexualness that is you. Now, here's the host of The Pleasure Zone, pleasure diva and body whisperer, Milica Jelenic.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Pleasure Zone. You're in the right place if you're looking for a little more pleasure in your life, I tell you. And also, if you aren't looking for more pleasure in your life, there are lots of other things you could be doing right now, like picking your toenails. So unless that gives you pleasure, which is possible, but hey, you got choices, and you chose to be listening to me right now. How smart, funny, and cool are you? And thank you for being on with me today. And we have a fun topic tonight. It's some tips and tools for being a confident lover. And I'm going to see if they actually translate to other areas of our life, too. They were just kind of things that were jumping out at me. And, of course, as those of you who are new to the show might not know, I love doing research. And I often will research multiple articles, different sites, and different resources for the show. And tonight was no different, of course. And what I found fascinating was that the first 25 sites that showed up through my cookies search were all related to how men could have more confidence in the bedroom, have more confidence in relationships, have more confidence with sex. I did not find one article or website for women. So I thought that was pretty funny. And I thought that really spoke to me a lot to how much of the onus of confidence lies on the man's shoulder to be the confident lover, to be the one making the move. We're in 2018. What the heck, guys? What about women being confident too? It's just silly. It's just so silly to me. So I have tips and tools for men and women on this front because because I think we could all have more fun if we're a little more confident here and there. And some of them might be actually quite counterintuitive. So how fun is that? Sometimes acting confident and being confident are totally different. So we will check that out. Actually, my social media post tonight about the show, it was funny. There was one comment and a guy said, "It's too late, I already am," or something to that effect. And I thought, oh, that's really funny. I don't actually think of myself as a confident lover. I think of myself as a curious person, willing to explore. And it's funny because to me, something like confidence is something that grows. And of course, if you know me, you also know that I love looking up the meaning of words. So I will give you guys some meanings of words in a little bit. But before I jump right into this show, full force, head forward, no hands in front into a giant puddle of something, I am going to let you know a little bit about me and some of the fun, crazy things I'm creating on the planet. So you might have noticed the show's called The Pleasure Zone, and I do really like promoting pleasure on the planet. So I have created some hedonist classes. If you notice on the site, on Inspired Choices Network site, on the listings for this program, for this particular show, if you look in, you will find a link to my naughty list, my very naughty list, where I will be having all the information for things like the hedonist classes, things that are going to be online classes, and articles that you might enjoy, also links to upcoming shows. So if you would like to, or you might even like to just write to me, add yourself to that list so that we can have a little conversation. I can send out some surveys as well for what would everybody like to be talking about. So that's kind of fun. That's a creation that I've got in the works. Also, one of my main practices in my life is that I do work with bodies, and my main target with bodies is to create more ease and pleasure in bodies. And I do that in multiple different ways. So I've been trained in different types of work. I've been trained in different energy work and different somatic body work. And I also bring a lot of me to the table. So it's not just training. And you can go to somebody who does do a lot of, who's had like many, many years of training. And um I got something valuable from an ex of mine once, which was he often referred to martial arts in two different categories. And he would refer to some martial arts as it's like paint by numbers. You learn all of your katas and you go A, B, C, D, and you repeat them. And then there's art where they teach you what the colors are and they teach you how to blend them and then you go and create. And so for me, the work I do is actually more like an art where I've combined the colors and I go and create. So I really I'm grateful to him for that, and for the fact that I have a child. So thank you for that. If you are listening, that would be interesting and strange. But it is a fine example, I think, of the difference between there is some work that is very clinical A, B, C, D, and then there is work that's more of an art. So for those of you who like exploration and having your body explored and also tension released and just like joy of embodiment, let me know. I'm curious. I'm interested. And definitely join my naughty list where all things are going to be steaming up real soon as that list grows. I just created it a few days ago, so that list is growing and things will be showing up like fun, videos and all kinds of stuff. I just got ideas and ideas flowing out my head, flowing out my body, flowing out my vagina. It's everywhere. It's just flowing. So for today's show, that was a little side note, and for today's show, thanks for sticking around for today's show. I would love to tell you guys some tips and tools for becoming a more confident lover. So let's look at first, what is confidence? What is confidence, right? So, there's an energy of confidence where somebody's shoulders, high, held back and straight, and back is straight, and people walk with an air of that they know that they take up space or they are space on the planet, and they are present, and they're confident, and they're being, and they're existing, and the actual definition from the etymology online is confidence is firmly trusting and bold. Now, I love that, and to have full trust or reliance, which is also interesting too, having the reliance on, now, what are you relying on is the question, right? So having total trust in you is, to me, what it is. Confidence is when you have the total trust for you. And it's interesting because the word confidence also has the word con in it, which could also be the exact opposite. So if you don't totally trust you, you could be conned. And if you do totally trust you, you would have confidence. And I wanted to look up to the difference between confidence and arrogance, because I think oftentimes people they can get kind of blurred lines there between what is confidence and what is arrogance. So arrogance, according to etymology online, is to manifest a feeling of superiority of one's worth or importance combined with contempt of others. Right? Presumption, pride, haughtiness. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's to assume, and we know what assuming does, right? It makes an ass out of you and me, and if that's new for you, well, there you go. You learned something new today. So it's really more about not trusting you, but more about having a presumption. Presuming is not trusting. So isn't that fun? Now, what do we do when we actually have confidence? So having that energy of firmly trusting and being bold. So in any area of your life, when you are not firmly trusting and being bold, you cannot be the confidence that, hey, I exist on this planet. I have a purpose. I have skills and I have talents and I am worthy. Not only am I worthy, this worthiness isn't even required. I exist, I receive, I gift. This is how it goes. This is confidence. Arrogance would be more like, well, I did this, so I did this for you, so I'm better than you. Or arrogance can also be where somebody is like, I already know I'm better than you. I haven't even met you, but I already know that about me. I don't. I know quite a few arrogant people, so it's easier just to, point them out. No, I'm kidding. but arrogance is definitely different than confidence. So, how can we gain more confidence in general? So, for one thing, I do work with bodies, and one of the things that I notice in bodies is bodies don't walk around confidently. So if you've noticed that your body just doesn't have that posture of confidence, I have some videos on YouTube. You can check under my name, Milica Jelenic. I have 2 videos that I recently put up that are stretch exercises for your spine and your body, and you can utilize those to actually have your body show up more confidently. Now, a lot of times you can actually see in a bodies will like hunch over, they'll have different postures where you can see that a person's kind of curling into themselves, and they definitely don't show confidence. They might show pain, lack of security, lack of having your own back. They're going to show a lot of things, and they really demonstrate a lot of emotional things. How do I know this? I've been watching bodies my whole life, and I became really aware of them, especially in the last 15 to 20 years. So what if you could walk with confidence, walk with not just the air of confidence, but truly with confidence? So one of my mom passed on this saying to me, which I actually really love, and it's a great way to kind of check your body for confidence. And so a lot of people, when they try and stand straight and tall and strong, they often do these funny things, like they throw their shoulders back, but then their neck actually jets forward, which is kind of funny and awkward and duck-like. But hey, that's one choice. The other thing you could do, which might actually have more confidence and actually strengthen, lengthen your spine, and essentially will also give you the posture. And you can check this out if you have a full view mirror, and just look at yourself from the side view first and just see how you're standing. Is your chin like way over your body or belly, or like how far out does your chin go? A lot of people I notice, their chins go at least between 1 and 3 inches off of their actual spinal column, off of that angle of being straight on average. That's a lot, actually, because all of that will actually start to create tension and stress in the body. It's hard to be confident when you have tension and stress in your body. So one of the things to do is look at that chin position in that mirror from a side view. Full body mirrors are best for this. Kind of check out your stance, check your body, and check your feet, and see if you're actually standing with both feet on the ground. And that's also a pretty good indicator of a confidence thing too. Sometimes we lean to one side, sometimes we lean to another. Sometimes we do that in our lives too. We're not actually firmly planted on both feet. We're kind of swaying from side to side, favoring one side over another. And often that favoring will lead to other issues in the body. So I'm just building your body up to some confidence here. So please do check out my videos on YouTube for this as well. And so the thing that my mom taught, so these are all processes first to get in line to actually, so I can give you the thing that my mom taught me. And she is a teacher of postural technique that is an amazing type of body work that she taught me. So side view. You got your side view. Feet are firmly planted. You notice where your chin is. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get your head out of your heart sway. So heart as in heart chakra. So that sits right in between your breasts. If you don't have breasts, that's cool. If you've had surgery, it would be where your breast muscles are. So right in the middle of your chest. And you're going to notice, just notice where it is first. And then just have it move, just slightly move, like little bits at a time. Move it so that your chin goes back and your heart area goes kind of up and forward and lifts. And this is where you get your heart to heaven and your head out of your heart sway. So for those of you who would like to see what that looks like, you will see that on one of my videos. I'm doing an exercise with a door, and I think I do a close-up for that. So heart to heaven, head out of your heart sway. You'd be amazed what starts to show up when you have postural confidence. And it's a really, for me, when I see a body that has postural confidence, I get turned on like really fast. It's an amazing thing for me to see somebody with beautiful posture. It's for me one of the biggest turn-ons. So that and super smart brains, I love both those things. Super confidence in the body and intelligence are like number one together. So we're actually going to head to break, and when we come back, I'm going to give you some other tips and tools for building confidence in your sex life.
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution, taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation by tuning in to the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. You'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255. That's TALK. Or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email at milicajelenic.com. Now back to the program.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic, and tonight we're talking about some tips and tools for getting some more confidence in the bedroom. So I'm giving you some tips and tools to have confidence in your body first, and then when you start to have confidence in your body, you can certainly translate that to your business, to your lovers, to your other areas of your life. And the really cool thing with confidence in your body and postural confidence, I would call it, when you do have, and it's not a rigid stance, it's like your body moves and flows, and there's like a ripple that moves through your spine, like breath is moving through your spine when you do this. When you have that, your body has certainly a different ease about it, has a different energy about it, and physiologically it puts less pressure on your different organs because now there's more space, you've moved them, they're actually going to be in the correct positions that they're supposed to be in to function properly, not get swished, not have your bowels squished, not have your liver being pinched down, so many things that can be great with having some postural confidence. And so highly encourage you, check out my videos to get some of that. Contact me if you'd like. We can do some stuff over Skype to kind of get your body back on track to have some confidence. And what else can you do? So your body with confidence. Now, some of the things are going to seem really simple. And like I was saying before too, some of them might seem counterintuitive, and that's cool too. Do what works for you. So the next tip, so postural confidence would be number one, get your body feeling confident. Number two would be that once you have your body kind of in this confidence phase, there are other things I think you can add to that. So you've got the physical look of confidence. Now, we are sensory beings. There's smell, there's taste, there's touch, there's sight. would you have more confidence, for example, if you changed your hairstyle? Put on some, for the ladies or for the men, if you put on some makeup. If you maybe put on a scent that turns your body on. If you had your body looking for you in a way that you feel is attractive. So are you willing to have your body look attractive so that when you look at it, you're like, yeah, that looks good. If I was me, I'd have sex with me. So are you willing to make your body appear sexy for you? When you feel like you're a walking, talking pile of yum, it's hard to fake that. So creating that for your body. So number 2 would be, getting your body to feel, clean, sexy, looking sexy. So looking, smelling, and, tasting sexy is all great, so you could have postural confidence, but then you might smell like manure. So it's kind of like people look at you from far away and go, that's good looking. And they get really close and like, wow, that smells like manure. I don't think I can go there. That can be a pretty big turnoff, and it might drop your confidence right there going, shit, I smell like shit. So just saying, get your body smelling to a place where you feel it smells good. Then the people that, would be fun for you to play with will find you. So I always find it funny because my lover has this like obsession with smelling my cheeks, and I'm like, why every morning do you smell my cheek? I actually asked that this morning. I'm like, why do you smell my cheeks? He's like, well, it just smells like you. I'm like, well, just had a shower. He's like, no, the rest of you smells like soap, but your face, because I don't usually use soap on my face. He's like, but your face smells like you. So yeah, maybe I'll just stop using soap altogether, and he can just like smell my armpits while he's at it. So how fun is that? Yeah, definitely get your body so that it's feeling confident. Because bodies know, and bodies can be like, why isn't this silly person looking after me? All they have to do is choose a bath. Please listen to me. I would like a bath. Please listen to me. I would like a pedicure. Please listen to me. I would like body work. Please listen to me. I would like to smell good and look good. Please listen to me. But we're all like, walking around slumpy going, oh, I'm never going to have anything. I'm never going to have a lover. I'm never going to have this. I'm never going to have a pile of poo, and I smell like it too. Well, yep, you create it. So what would you like to choose? Instead of smelling like a pile of poo and acting like one too, you can choose something different. Isn't that amazing? So number 3, now this one is pretty practical and pragmatic. Know your body parts. No, it's freaking revolutionary. But if you actually know your body parts, it can really, really help. I'm saying, guys. So in my early 20s, I dated a guy who was pretty fresh to the universe of sex and all things pleasurable. I was his first girlfriend. He was a little older than me. But I do like to think that I actually contributed a lot to his knowledge and possibly his future wife, so that he would know about the clitoris, about what to do with the vagina and how to turn bodies on. So if you don't know anatomy, learn some really, really basic anatomy. Honestly, don't have to be shy about it. Just check on the internet. There is basic anatomy in there. You have, ladies, you have a clitoris. Guys, you have a penis. And hermaphrodites out there, you lucky, lucky people, you probably have both. And they're just like awesome. And so check out your body parts. Know your body parts. Number 1, know your body parts. Because if you know your body parts, you'll actually know what turns you on. And you can say to somebody, yeah, you know what, that doesn't work so much for me, but this does. And I already know that some of you, even when I say that, are mortified by the thought of telling your partner that maybe what they're doing isn't quite working for you. But if you're willing to ask for what works for you, you can actually start to become a more confident lover. So if you aren't willing to even say, I actually like this more than that, the more you're willing to have your own back, then that's kind of a postural thing too. If you're willing to have your own back and stand up for what your body is asking for, you'd be amazed how fast it responds. So know your body parts and know other people's body parts, right? So if you don't know the body parts of your lover, if you don't know your own body parts, how are you going to please you? If you don't know your lover's body parts, how are you going to please them? If you're looking at a penis and you're kind of going, what the what? What do I do with this? If you're looking at, vulva and you're like, where's the what and what holds what and where do I do what with what? I have a cousin who doesn't live in Canada, so that narrows it down to one cousin if she's listening. That when I was about 25 and she was maybe 19, she actually was not aware at that age of her vulva. She didn't know where her vagina was, her clitoris. She didn't know where she urinated from, and she didn't know where she pooped from. She didn't know what any of the holes were for, and I know that because I was trying to explain to her that she would not lose her virginity by using a tampon. And this was in the year 2000, so it's not like we're talking the 1920s here. We're talking the year 2000, somebody on this planet in not a third world country either, in a European country, did not know where her vagina, her clitoris, and her anus were. Know your body parts. If you cannot figure out where your own body parts are, holy Jeebus. So if you can imagine she didn't know where hers were, you better believe she did not have a clue what a penis looked like at all. Luckily for her, she had two wise cousins who were willing to draw her diagrams and explain sex to her. So if you are shy about this and you just need some basics and you don't want to be going online for it, if you don't want to be going online and having your cookies show up as, searching for different body parts, feel free to contact me. I can send you some diagrams. I can send you some info. We can talk for a few minutes and we can talk body parts just so you can get the basics down. This is a penis. This is the main part of the penis that gets turned on. This is a clitoris. This is how you stroke it. This is how you could stroke it. Other variations is stroking, fingering. And I will have tips and tools on my naughty list. So for anybody who really needs some nitty-gritty info on, like, how do I actually do this? Haven't given any lover ever an orgasm. What the fuck am I doing? Not everybody is born knowing this. Not everybody is like a Rocco Siffredi, king porn star. Not everybody is that who is like born a porn star. So you might actually need to experiment, learn, figure things out. And why do I know Rocco Siffredi? Well, I was just watching a thing on Netflix about Rocco Siffredi, and it starts out with this beautiful image of him in the shower, and his penis is just like being showered down with water. I'm probably going to go watch it later and just pause on that full screen, big ass screen. On my TV screen, like the penis is like the size of my arm when I look at it. So it was beautiful. Yes, I think I'm like really excited to watch the rest of it. I have about half an hour left to go. My producer tonight was like, that was an amazing documentary and she loved it. No, wasn't it just sexy? Just so much. I learned so much about like his actual like love of the women and the art and his desire to please. And he doesn't have like even though he thinks that he's sick. It's just an amazing, amazing film. So if you have a chance to watch the film Morocco on Netflix, it's a great one about a real porn star. It's a documentary. So, he might give you some tips and tools for pleasure too. I think one of the things that I really gained from that was his willingness to ask women any question about anything. Will you do this? What about this? What won't you do? What will you do? He's a pretty darn confident porn star. So grab some tips and tools from Rocco, because he'll just ask anybody anything, and he's willing to go anywhere. And his main target is pleasure, which how can you not love that, right? So I think, when it really comes down to it, when you do know your body parts and you kind of have a gist of some ideas of what could be playful and fun, just knowing them can certainly be helpful, right? So we're actually going to head to our next commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to give you some tips and tools on some things you can do with those body parts when we come back from this commercial break.
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution, taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation by tuning in to the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. You'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255. That's TALK. Or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email at milicajelenic.com. Now back to the program.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic, and tonight we're adding a little confidence to your sex life. So, for those of you who are just joining in, the first couple of tips were really basic tips, like getting confident in your body, looking after your body, having it smelling good, tasting good, looking good, and, knowing your body parts, knowing the body parts of your lover. All good things to know. Now that you know the body parts, and if you don't know them and you're too shy to look them up, remember you can contact me. And also, what do you do with these body parts? So, a few key things to know. Penises are way easier to get into a vagina if they're erect. I know, it's crazy, but it's true. And it sometimes occurs that doesn't always occur. So, for guys who are having issues with erectile dysfunction, or they're just not having the whole confidence of the fully I am here, hear me roar penis, shooting off like a rocket to the moon. If you're not having that experience, then there was a really great show that I did last week with Gaia Morissette on healthy, magical male ejaculation. And she does give some tips and tools on kind of like how to energetically shift your body through masturbation to actually get your body to have a change there. So, guys, you can definitely change a lot with masturbation and letting your body dumping the shit in your head, and then going in with your lover and being more confident, and having those, super happy, healthy, hard erections that can just like rock your lover's world. So if that, is an issue, then that's kind of another thing to look at. So if you are also kind of like, hey, I've got the body parts now, I know what they are, what do I do with them? Really, so hard erections are helpful for penetrating anything. And if the erection isn't hard, for, skipping through and jumping through the love canal of the vagina, or jumping in and having fun in the anus, you can always start with the mouth. And we all know, right, guys? We know the order. It's oral, vaginal, anal. Really highly recommend not doing it opposite, because unless you're considering that you like the taste of bum, that's cool. That's your choice. I don't have a preference for bum flavor, so I would go oral, vaginal, anal, not anal, vaginal, oral. I know it sounds crazy that I'm saying this, but this is information that's required out there, guys. That's the order, okay? Just now you know. So put your mouth on it, because guess what? If you do a little oral, there are very few chances that a man is going to not enjoy that, And even if he does have erectile dysfunction, or there's been scarring, or he's had, some kind of a prostate cancer that's maybe creating prevention for an erection, or there's been damaged or something. Okay, that's some other factors, and I bet you he would still love to have your mouth on his penis because, you know, there's a handful of people on the planet who really don't like sex at all, but for the most part, about 98% of the planet actually really likes touch and really likes like all things sensual. They just might not have explored it yet. So get your mouth working, get that penis happy, guys and gals, whoever's, you know, working the penis that day. And, you know, same goes for guys, right? So girls, it's really hard to penetrate a girl if she's dry for one. It's not kind to her body. So getting her turned on. And the funny thing is I was reading one article for men in a men's magazine that was like, whatever you do, don't stroke her clitoris. Okay, guess what? That's bullshit. So if you do happen to have like really rough hands or you don't really know what you're doing, learn to stroke it. And I think one way you can kind of learn to stroke it is you actually get like a peach. So I'm going to go with this. Get a peach, and if you rub a peach, you know, and you get a ripe peach for one. Don't get one of those ones that's been sitting and dried up or that it's been, you know, transported way before its time. But it's a nice, ripe, juicy peach. I'm saying this because actually my father's from Serbia, and the naughty word for the vulva in Serbian is pichka, and I just think peach goes really well with this scenario. So you get a peach, and if you press really hard into a ripe peach, you are going to puncture it. So, but if you actually rub a peach gently, softly, you'll just be rubbing the fuzz on the peach. You'll be rubbing the skin. Some of the flesh might move around, but the chances are you aren't going to penetrate it. Start gentle, because women can, and if they've been masturbating a lot in their life, they can kind of get they can become hypersensitive in their. I mean, there's like 8,000 nerve endings in clitoris. So when you are rubbing a clitoris, be gentle like you're rubbing a peach that's ripe, and don't puncture it, and just keep it nice and soft, and keep it to the left. Keep it at that 1 o'clock position. When you're looking at it, it's like a 1 o'clock position. There is lots of coaching from onetaste.us. They are amazing, and they have videos on YouTube as well called Orgasmic Meditation, and they are the clit stroking experts of the world. Next to me, of course. No, I'm kidding, but I've been stroking since I was 4, so I like to think I'm an expert. I've been doing it for 38 years. And so keep it gentle. Even if your partner, it might be like somebody who requires more pressure, if you keep it gentle at first, you can actually arouse the body into an even more orgasmic state. And it's not just your clitoris that would like attention, guys. So, and gals, you know, you might be like, if you are a lesbian, the chances are you're pretty aware that women's bodies like all kinds of attention. So chances are you actually know this already. And one of the things that women's bodies require the most is relaxation. So relaxation for women, in order to feel comfortable, to feel communicated with, to feel turned on. Most women, and not all, because some women are really into like BDSM and they like more of the rough, don't talk to me, slap me kind of stuff, and that's another category. But for the most part, you can always talk to your partner and ask them, because communication can also create confidence. So where did I go with that? I don't know. Communication, talk to them. Okay, we're talking about like stroking, right? So the amount of stroking you're doing can be light or it can be heavy, but definitely ask her, and don't just pay attention to the clitoris. It is pretty key, and it is the source of all orgasms, because that clitoris, those nerve endings run right along the shaft of the vagina. They are actually what's included in vaginal orgasms. So don't knock them until you've rubbed them, because, man, that clitoris can be your godsend. So when they said to avoid the clitoris, I was like, oh, my God, this is written by a guy who doesn't know women's anatomy, obviously. So I might actually write to them and go, can you guys listen to my 165 episodes in my in in my archives? You might get something from it. And it was interesting to see it from a man's perspective, from a man's magazine. And at the same time, I'm like, have you talked to women? Like, you're going to find some other information when you actually talk to women. I don't know a lot of women who would be like, yeah, no, please don't rub my clit. No, I'd prefer that you just penetrate me immediately instead of rubbing my anything. Yeah, I don't think you're going to meet very many women who would say that. Just saying. So, rub away, be gentle, treat it like that peach. If she'd like more pressure, guess what? Women are pretty darn smart. I know, you probably didn't know this, but women are actually smart, and they will probably push your finger down harder if they want more pressure. Just saying. I know I do. And girls, are you willing to just give your lover a little instruction? Because as much as they can be mind readers, they're not always mind readers. So you've got some arousal going on. Now, when you actually have arousal going on and you can watch that body be aroused, and I'm telling you, one of the fastest ways to get a woman aroused is through conversation, through light kissing, petting, touching her whole body, clitoral stroking. If you can get a woman so turned on that she's begging you for sex, would that not ramp up your confidence? Hell yeah, it would. So get it so this woman is like going, oh my God, bring your penis over here. Bring it over here, mister. And guess what? Chances are she's going to be so turned on. If you aren't turned on, she's going to jump that penis. Like, she's going to give you oral like you've never had before because she just wants to get it on. So arouse her mind, arouse her body, arouse her being, let her know that you actually care. You can actually tell her that. It's okay to say, wow, you have a beautiful vulva. Look at your labia. They're freaking on. Or you can call it pussy. Nice pussy. I love it. It's so juicy and wet. And look at it. And talk about it. Talk about your love of her pussy. Because you know what? Very few women have ever had somebody actually give them a full lowdown, poetic lowdown on the beauty of their pussy. So if you'd like to have your woman really confused and turned on at the same time, tell her she's beautiful. Tell her what you love about her body. Tell her what turns you on about her body. And I know, guys, this is doesn't necessarily turn you on, but you're fast to turn on. Let's face it. You'll see some booty, or you'll see a penis, or you'll see an anus, or you'll see some bum and some this and some that. You'll be turned on. Let's face it, you guys are fast. Girls take a little longer, so give them the time. And also, when they are aroused, chances are they're going to be begging for it and really desiring for you to get it going. So don't knock that till you try it. So yes, so that's another tip, is basically, I don't even know what tip number I'm on right now. It doesn't really matter, 6 or 7 or something. So be willing to have a conversation with your woman, because even if you're a woman, have a conversation with your woman, especially if this is a new thing. And guess what? The chances are she will be so stimulated in her mind, and for women, most orgasms are between the mind and the clitoris. Those are their two main sexy organs. So get her mind turned on, get her clitoris turned on. You are going to be pretty ready to rock. That's what I know. So that's for the average woman who's not necessarily looking for interesting kinky things, because for some kink ladies, there might be other stuff you wearing her high heels might turn her on. So just being aware of what turns her on would be really helpful. So having that conversation first, pretty key. Know what turns her on. Go for it, whatever that happens to be. So, and don't be arrogant about it. Oh yeah, I already know how to do that. I've already butt fucked 500 women, so know how to do that because I'm so good at it. Yeah, don't pretend you know everything just because you've been with other women. The woman you're with or the man you're with is different than anybody else you've ever been with. So check out everything you ever thought you knew about every past lover you've ever had and how you turn them on, and be with the person you're with them, and follow their body and listen to their body and ask them questions and actually listen to them and follow their lead, that creates confident lover. So, confidence to me, like I was saying, that might sound counterintuitive. Confidence would be something where somebody's like, I already know all the answers. No, that's arrogance. Confidence is willing to go, hey, what turns you on? I'd really like to be part of this, and what turns you on? Confidence is the willingness to ask that question that's actually going to bring you more pleasure. So, how fun was that? Think about that while we head off to this commercial break, and we'll talk more about some sexy confident tools when we get back.
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution, taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation by tuning in to the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. You'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255. That's TALK. Or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email at milicajelenic.com. Now back to the program.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic, and tonight I've got a spectacular show for you. Yes, I do. It's how to create more confidence as a lover. Yes, well, I gave you some pretty cool tips in the first 45-ish minutes of the show. So please do, if you're just jumping on now, listen to the first 6 or 7 or something tips I've already pointed out. So the last one was be willing to have a conversation, ask curious questions, and follow what she's actually saying. Like, listen, I know, it's crazy. It's a crazy concept to actually listen to your lover and what they're asking for. And if your lover is shy to ask for it, well, guess what? Have patience, ask some more, be curious, give her space. She might not have ever had anybody in her whole life ask her what she would like, because a lot of people, they be arrogant in bed, not confident. And they're just like, yep, this is what you want. This is what you want. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. There you go. There you go. Done. Confidence is way more sexy. And so, yes, remember to be very fun and curious. So I came up with this line, which I really like. Confidence is not cockiness. Your confidence does not rise with the size, boys. So if you... Isn't that great? Confidence is not cockiness. You rise to that, whatever it was. I wrote it down. So I wrote it down. I just went to look at it. And so what I'm saying is truly the size does not matter. If any of you ever listened to my show I did a few summers ago, I did it in, I think, July, a few summers ago, Does Size Matter? Was really, I know sometimes it's curious to look at like giant appendages, and at the same time, it doesn't matter. If a person has like I was talking about before, the postural confidence, smells good, looks good to themselves, and they're walking around feeling a sense of self-confidence, what a turn on. And they have some other basic tools about anatomy under their belt, awesome. And so if you have some of that, then guess what? Size really, really doesn't matter. It's really that, what goes on is a guy could be incredibly small, and he would just be like, yeah, I actually know I have an undersized penis, like an under average size penis, and I would like to explore some of my other skills, so what do you think of that? And what I have found quite frankly, I haven't had like a lot of experience with really small penis men. So on the one or two occasions I did, it was more out of I was like, out curiosity of like, what is that like? What does that look like? But it was more like there was more like of a confidence about other things. Like they would have confidence about their stroking abilities or their oral skills or whatever. So if you don't have a point of view about it and you're just like willing to receive from that body and willing to receive fun, you might actually be wowed by a person's capacity. So, and women and men, please don't knock guys for their small penises, and guys and gals, please don't knock women for the size of their boobs or the size of their vulva, because what pisses me off the most, and when I'd like to punch people in the face the most, is when they're nasty about other people's body parts. We created these bodies, we created them, we chose them, and if you have confidence and you're walking around and somebody is like being nasty to you about it, they can pretty much go shove a hot rod up their ass sideways, because I think that's just the rudest thing you can do to a person, is to basically, intentionally tell them that they're wrong about how they feel about themselves. And a lot of people don't have the tools to be able to change that or get over it, so they'll believe it and they'll soak it in and they'll own it, and they'll actually like revolve their future and their choices around that. I'm saying that because I'm aware that occurred in my life. I had a partner who basically told me I was like the worst lover ever, and just shattered me for years. For like 10 years, I was just shattered by the thought I was the worst lover ever. His ex-wife was the best lover ever, because she would do anything, anytime, and I was full of effort, and I wouldn't do what she did. And I was like, well, I just feel like a pile of shit, like never want to have sex with anybody ever again. And it was an amazing manipulation tool. So if you're in a relationship with somebody who's basically crapping you down and not building up your confidence by letting you know how amazing of a contribution you are to them, what a sexy lover you are, how much they enjoy your body, if they're not saying those things to you and they're telling you you're a pile of poo, guess what? That's abuse. Just clear, simple. That is freaking rude abuse, and you might consider walking away, because guess what? You probably got super skills and talents that you are now hiding from yourself. So just say, you know what? If a person cannot appreciate your lover skills, they just can't receive you, because everybody has talent somewhere. And even if you don't think you have it, you just haven't explored that area yet, because everybody's got talent somewhere with sex. The world would not be so prolific with human beings if we all didn't have some kind of sex skills somewhere. It's innate. It's in our bodies. I don't think anybody lacks the ability to choose it if they would like to actually be confident lovers. So please be kind to your lovers, build up their confidence, remind them how amazing and wonderful of a contribution they are to your life and your body. And receive that from your lovers when they say that to you, because guess what? The more you receive it, the more you can have it, and that too will build your confidence. So if you are sorely lacking that, I really hope you use some of these tips and tools, and contact me. You're allowed to. Find me through my website, www.milicajelenic.com. Check out my videos on my YouTube page under Milica Jelenic. You will find 2 of those physical exercises to help your physical body feel more confident. I super look forward to talking to you guys next week about who knows what, but it's going to be at the same time and same place. So I'll meet you guys back here, my fun pleasure seekers, in 1 week. Have a great week.
Thank you for choosing to listen to The Pleasure Zone. Milica Jelenic will return next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by choosing to be turned on and tuned in to your body.